Hello YouTube, it's Lion here with Hobbies of a Man, and today we are doing another TBR video. Now, as always, this TBR video is what I want to get to read in this month. However, it's not necessarily what I will read because I am, at the end of the day, a mood reader, and doing this type of thing, kind of like making it very clear what I'm going to read day to day is actually kind of annoying to me, and it kind of makes reading feel like a chore. And given that it's the biggest hobby that I have, I don't actually like that. But in general, these are kind of like the books that I'm going to pick from when it comes to reading. And I do hope to get through all of them. But I don't know if I will. So keep that in mind and let's just jump into it. So the first thing that I want to read is actually Bright Blade, which is a digital book. And this is written by Jesh Kajio. And it's a kind of like gamelet style story. And I've read about 15% of it right now. And I am enjoying it quite a bit. It is very interesting, but it's kind of slow going at the beginning, and I want to kind of enjoy it as I read it, and I've just been taking a lot longer to read it than I usually would a story of that type. So hopefully I finish it soon, but honestly, I have videos lined up all the way till the 19th of March, so I don't actually need to read anything anytime soon for like review purposes and like consistent content. So I am going to probably take it easy, given that I also have a couple tests this month. Actually just these couple first days, and I will have spring break at some point soon, so I will probably be able to finish everything, but who knows, right? So Bright Blade is the first thing that I wanted to read. The second one is Solo Leveling. I managed to pick this up the other day, and I'm really looking forward to this because this is the first Korean light novel that I'm aware of, that like I know that is Korean. And it's like the first one that's been properly given like an actual awesome kind of like correct release in accordance to how they treat Japanese light novels. So that's pretty awesome. I am looking forward to it because this is a very interesting story from what I've gathered, and a lot of people really like it. There's also a manga version, so you guys can pick that up instead, but I prefer the source material, and this is it, so that's what I'm going to pick up. Next is Juni Taisen. As you guys can see, or as you guys will see, I am kind of trying to read one-shot volumes or things that are contained in single books this month, just to kind of get rid of those from my TBR shelf, and so that I can, give myself some time to, gather some other series for other, like exploration months, like the one we did for shoujo, but for other things, just to kind of do other stuff during other months. So Juni Taisen, I just picked up last month, and I do want to pick it up and read it because it's just really interesting. It's written by Nisio Isen, who is an author that I have mixed feelings on, because I think that the way he writes is very interesting and the characters that he builds are very good, but I really, really hate the very conversational, almost kind of like ridiculous writing that he does. It's like weird, like his world building, his character building, and his plotline are all great. It's just the way that he tells you it is kind of annoying to me. And it does end up being okay by the end of like whatever book you're reading, but it does take a little bit to get into it. But as far as I'm aware, this is a very different writing style from the usual Nisio Isen. So hopefully I will enjoy this. Next is Lord of Goblins Volume 2. Now, I did really like the first one, and you guys can see the review for it up there, but Mooncool sent me this last month, and I am looking forward to reviewing it for them and experiencing more of the story. So this basically deals with this guy in like some futuristic version of Earth that gets isekai'd into this goblin world, and now using his kind of military training and political training that he received on Earth is going to make kind of like these underrated kind of little goblin race become powerful beings. And in order to do that, he has to go through a lot of trials and tribulations, and that's what we kind of read about. So that's pretty cool. Next, I want to read Olympus by Aki. And this is a one-shot volume. This is written, published by Yen Press. And as far as I'm aware, this is about this guy called Ganymede, I think. Yeah, beautiful prince torn away from his family by the gods' divine hand. And it's basically the Greek gods, I think. Yeah, the Greek gods. It's either Greek ones or the Roman ones, which are the same thing. and they're basically bored, and so they bring this guy over to kind of entertain them, essentially. And it's a very kind of interesting look, and I really just picked this up because I think the art looks really nice. So yeah, plus it's an interesting one-shot volume, so I'm excited to check it out. Okay, what else? So next is Fire Force Volume 1. Now this is by the same guy that did Soul Eater, and my buddy Robert tells me that it's a really good story, so I'm really excited to get into it. And you know, it only took me a couple months to pick it up, so you know, of him telling me to pick it up. So there's that. That's cool. I don't have really much to say about this. Next, Eden Zero Volume 9. I am so excited to get into this. I've had this in my shelf for a while, and I've been wanting to get into it forever, but I decided to kind of give it some time and wait and maybe read the whole series again, because I do want to start working on these kind of like arc, like lore videos, I guess, to kind of start releasing once the anime starts releasing, to kind of, what's it called? Kind of join the train there, and kind of like the hype train, and develop a little bit more of a fan base, and kind of set myself up as an Eden Zero YouTuber within the manga community, I guess. So I am really excited about this because I love Eden Zero so much. Such a good story, and I love that my girl Witch is on the cover. She's my favorite female character in this series so far, and yeah, I can't wait to get into this. Next is Sleepy Princess. Sleepy Princess in the Demon Castle. This is in the same magazine as Komi Can't Communicate, and they even had like a little crossover page at the end of one of the volumes of Komi, and I've been wanting to pick it up since then, and it just looks really cute, like a really fun, kind of relaxed story to kind of like enjoy, and I'm looking forward to it. There's another series like this that's actually pretty good on Manga Plus called 'Tis Time for Torture Princess, and I read the first 10 chapters of that, and I want to read this and do a first impressions review, kind of comparing and contrasting both of them, and kind of just enjoying easygoing stories with like fun elements to them, right? So that's what this is. Next, Komi Can't Communicate Volume 11. Now, I won't do a review for this until I get to read Volume 12, but I'm really excited about this. Komi Can't Communicate is a wonderful story, and I love it so much. It's so warm and inviting and just relaxing to read. And, you know, I always want a little bit of Komi in my life. I do want to plan to get this series like for myself instead of just borrowing it from my buddy Robert all the time. But I don't know if I'll do that because, okay, I love it, but it's not necessarily something that I want to take up shelf space on my bookshelf. Like, there's just so many other series that maybe don't provide the same kind of comfort level as this, but that have a lot more meaningful kind of like rereadability, I guess, or kind of more impact to them that I want to collect instead. And it's just kind of a difficult thing that happens with Slice of Life, because it's like, okay, it's great and it's wonderful and it's really relaxing, but I don't necessarily need 300 different stories that are all kind of the same thing, I guess. But I mean, you could say that about Battle Shonen as well, so I don't know. But yeah, Komi Can't Communicate Volume 11. Next, I want to read Ms. Kobayashi's Dragon Maid. Now, I was on Manga, or cheapmanga.com the other day, and I saw that they had 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. But then I didn't manage to get 4, 5, and 6 because they were out of stock, and then I didn't feel like ordering the rest. So for now, this is all I have, and I'm really excited about this. The new season of the anime is coming out, and I want to read it before we get to that. But yeah, I just really like the kind of premise behind it, and just a lot of the anime that I watched, because I didn't watch the whole thing, was really enjoyable, and I just want to pick up the manga and support the manga through that. I know there's a lot of issues with it, and people like hate that there's like a lolly and a shota and all that stuff, but at the end of the day, it's just about like, it's just a very similar thing to what's it called, Been Killing Slimes for 300 years and maxed out my level. It's just about finding your own family in, you know, an unforgiving world, and kind of developing relationships with these people that maybe are supremely different from you, even different species from you, and still you can connect and develop a relationship with, and just kind of like find a home in this cruel, unforgiving world that is, you know, real life. So it's very interesting. I do really enjoy it, and I want to read all of it. But, you know, I like it, but $13 is pretty expensive for what it is, in my opinion. So that's why I actually usually try to pick it up used or on cheapmanga.com, which is like very, very affordable. So yeah, there we go. That's what I want to read. Next, these are kind of like if possible books. So like books that I want to get to this month, but I might not. And that's just because I might not read as much this month or whatever reason. It's just extra stuff that I want to have available to me that I don't necessarily think I'm going to read. And that is the rest of Gardens of the Moon. I'm like 3/4 of the way. No, like 2/3 of the way through. And I do want to finish it soon because I really enjoy this story, even though it's completely impossible to understand what's going on at any given time. It's just very interesting to read, and I just want to finish the story and kind of move on to the next book in the series. Next, I want to read The Dragon Reborn because I've been trying to read this for months and I just haven't been able to. I don't know why. I just have not been able to connect with this book this second time that I'm reading it through, and I'm not sure why. Maybe it's just because it's so big and thick and it's just kind of like daunting. But I want to try to at least get halfway through this book this month, and then from there maybe finish it off and then start book 4, which would be all new content for me since I've only read the first 3 books of Wheel of Time. Next, the second to last book that I want to get to this month is Volume 1 of Blue Flag. Now, I wanted to read it last month, but I didn't get to it. So I'm just going to read it this month instead, and then actually focus on that series in April, which is going to be like, since April is like springtime, I do want to talk about romance and slice of life elements, or like stories with romance and slice of life, because, you know, that whole like springtime of youth thing, I think it's funny. And I just think thematic reading, like thematic reading logs or reading themes for books is a lot more interesting than just kind of like random assortment of stuff. Or at least I thought it was really fun with shoujo. So I want to try it for other things. Like in April, I want to do rom-coms and slice of life. And then in May, I want to do science fiction, which is a lot of the stuff that I've been picking up this year so far. So, you know, in May, since it's kind of like Star Wars month, the first couple weeks are at least, you know, May the 4th and May the 5th and May the 6th are all kind of like Star Wars days. So I thought, oh, that's a good month to do science fiction on. And I know the actual like month of science fiction is Science Fiction September, but I just like May. So there you go. And the last thing I want to read is Cutie Honey Go-Go. Now, I don't know if I have to read the first one, the Cutie Honey Collector's Edition, before I read this. I don't think it matters. These are all kind of very separate things, because this is a reimagining of the classic. So maybe this is the second version of the original. I'm not really sure, but I want to check it out and read it, and hopefully I do enjoy it. This is a very kind of like a TNA kind of book. So it's a lot more like on the ecchi side of stuff, but it is still supposed to be like a fun, interesting story. And yeah, that's it. Basically, I just want to read this because it looks interesting. So there you go. That's all I want to read this month. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Sorry if I kind of wasn't as concise as I probably should have. It's just like, I don't know, I'm in a weird mood today and I wanted to talk more about stuff than, you know, I usually would. So hope you guys enjoyed that. And if you did, please leave a like, subscribe, and comment down below. Let me know what you thought. Tell me what you guys are reading this month. Are you trying out new series? Are you just going to continue with what you were reading last month? Or, you know, what's the deal with you guys' TBR this month? Let me know down in the comments. So yeah, thank you guys very much for watching. Hope you guys enjoyed, and see you guys later.